Hello everyone, we're standing here today at the World Hydrogen Summit organized by the Sustainable Energy Council. My name is Johan Wiebe from Hydrogen Standard, and with me here to stay stands Laurel Broten from Invest in Canada. Did I said that correctly, Laurel?
Yes, I'm Laurel Broten, the CEO of Invest in Canada.
Fantastic, thank you to be here. Let's get right started. Hydrogen, the big topic obviously of the conference. You guys have a big presence here as well as Canada Pavilion. Can you tell us a little about the mandate of hydrogen in Canada?
So Invest in Canada is Canada's foreign direct investment agency. Our role and responsibility is to help companies and facilitate their investment into Canada. We work on priority sectors for the government of Canada, of which energy transition is squarely one, and hydrogen is a key area of our focus. So we're here, we've been at the show previously, we're here with a big Canadian presence to really highlight the opportunities that exist in Canada to drive this really exciting energy transition in the hydrogen space.
Great introduction. There's a lot of countries vying for investment from around the globe, also for the hydrogen sphere. Can you tell us a little about what the comparative advantage for Canada is compared to some of your peers?
Sure. No, I'm excited to do that. And, you know, I think a lot of people around the world know that Canada has been an energy powerhouse. We have been a country that has been focused on providing energy to the world. Now we are really focused on being an energy powerhouse in this green revolution, in continuing to take our space and respond to the needs of the planet and our trade partners. So a couple of key things I think that are really important for folks to understand. As a result of that energy history, we have the workforce that you're looking for, a very experienced workforce, a very solid STEM graduates and scientists to be able to deliver on solutions, in particular focusing here on hydrogen. Trade agreements with the rest with the vast majority of countries around the world. So you can come to Canada, establish your operations, and we're a trading nation. So I think those are critical things. A country that takes very seriously our net zero emissions and that our drive to do that. So you start pulling all that together, and I think that's why you understand, and if you walk around our booth at this show, you'll see the number of significant projects that are already underway in Canada, key players that are working to deliver green hydrogen and some blue hydrogen, but with abatement attached to it. We're excited about it, and we're supporting our companies who are looking for offtake agreements and other partners to drive that agenda. And we're really telling Canada's story of we're continuing to be an energy powerhouse, and we're taking our space. And if we think ahead and we look ahead, you know, Rystad Energy says Canada is the second best place in the world to invest, and we are on track by 2050 to be one of the third largest producers of hydrogen in the world.
You talk about projects, you talk about production of hydrogen. There's a lot of countries also developing their own expertise, but not a lot of projects that reach sort of like the final investment decision yet. Offtake agreements are often one of the key elements lacking maybe to get sort of like the capital in place. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of like the projects in place in Canada?
So we have projects right across the country, 170 various hydrogen, fuel cell hydrogen companies developing projects. Some of the bigger, large-scale projects for export are in Atlantic Canada. So if you look at a map, and I remember looking at a map here last year, I mean, one of the closest places to Rotterdam, where we are right now, is Atlantic Canada. So you see significant projects, wind-generated green hydrogen that are being built in Atlantic Canada to service Europe, to export to Europe by way of ammonia and through ports and transition. So I think that's the exciting conversation that we're having here today. And those projects are also ones that we are particularly proud of. Indigenous economic reconciliation components, very green agendas, community support, and they are being built in a part of the country that has exactly that workforce that we've been talking about, that experienced energy workforce that can deliver on these projects.
On sort of the projects, there's different technologies that you can use, particularly the ones that qualify as low carbon, sort of like hydrogen projects. Canada also has an extensive oil and gas industry. Obviously, the green ones are the projects that we're after. Are there also sort of developments taking place into sort of a bridge technology, if you want to call it that, for the blue hydrogen space, or can you tell us a bit more about that?
So one of Canada's first projects in hydrogen is Air Products, which is a blue hydrogen facility, which is natural gas with carbon capture and storage. So that really increases its focus and greenness. It's on the blue side. And Canada has taken that approach in terms of the incentives. So if we want to talk about what is the government doing to make sure that we develop this new industry, Canada has come up with a green intensity set of incentives. So 15 to 40%, depending on the greenness of that project. So if you come in at the green end of the sphere, you have the opportunity to see a 40% incentive, and that's driving that behavioral change. And so that's a key part of what Canada is doing. Many, many countries around the world are developing hydrogen, but Canada is developing green hydrogen. That is our focus, renewable energy for export.
So we talked about the mandates. Let's pick up a little bit the climate for investors and what Canada has in place for those to attract them.
Great. Well, thanks for asking that. And obviously, we're here in the Canada Pavilion, and we've got a lot of our partners here with us. So if you're a global investor looking to invest in Canada, wanting to learn about one of these projects, I'd say the first thing is start with us at Invest in Canada. We really can help facilitate introductions, have you meet the project proponents, understand what's happening across the country, and then we also bring in our partners across government and the greater sphere to say who can be part of this project. So Export Development Canada, the Infrastructure Bank of Canada, our partners at Global Affairs who may be situated in the country from which you are coming from, you can touch base with them to understand how to make those connections. So we're able to piece together kind of a structure of people, facilitate those introductions, and then both in the private world and in the public world in terms of who you would need to meet to feel comfortable about your decision making. Our point is to help you get to a decision, hopefully a positive decision to invest in Canada, and really to make sure we get all your questions answered and that you meet everyone you need to meet to be able to get to that decision point. And that's our role. We are become part of your team to help facilitate you getting to a yes for Canada.
If you look sort of like at the prospects for investors to invest in Canada and looking forward when they finally make their decision, what can they expect sort of in the future for Canada itself, focused on hydrogen and maybe also in the context of the wider world?
Well, I think if we think about the long-standing adage of your actions speak louder than your words, I think our words are strong, but I think our actions are very strong. So what can you think about Canada? We have a very strong and stable banking financial institution economy, a strong regulatory structure, but also one that wants to become increasingly efficient. And that's obviously critically important when you're going to build a large-scale project. We have a government and a country that we've talked about energy, a long-standing energy powerhouse, but at the same time, a commitment to driving the agenda to net zero. Interconnected around the world with free trade agreements, and a good partner. Why do you see Canada standing at the center of many global conversations on hydrogen? I think we're a solid and stable partner to be able to deliver on this need to transition our energy systems and support other jurisdictions around the world to be able to transition their energy as well. So I think that's what you see in Canada, a good partner, a strong, connected country that is willing to step up. And that's what we've done, knowing that many of our partners across the ocean in Europe are looking for new sources of energy. Canada entered into agreements a number of years ago, developed a hydrogen strategy, has a number of MOUs with countries around the world, and now we're delivering on those MOUs. And so that's a key point of needing to now see offtake agreements coming for those projects so that they can get to full fruition. So I look to the future with positivity and with excitement, and really think Canada will make its mark in the hydrogen space as it has done in many other energy sectors previously.
Thank you very much, Laurel Broten, Invest in Canada CEO.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.